Hey guys, it's HiddenDino here. I know I've not uploaded a video for pretty much 1 week, and I'm sorry for that. That's because 2 days ago there was a patch and I had to figure out what was good and what was bad. And as you guys know, I like to test it out before I upload a guide on it. So this is the one of the recent comps that are new and are quite good. A lot of people have been calling this the K6 comp, so I'm just going to assume that's the name for it for now. K6 as in K6. This comp is one of the new hyperroll comps, and it's a good variation to add to the comps to know for this current set, as it's very strong. And with that being said, I'm going to tell you guys how to play this comp. First, start off with itemization, then early, mid, and late game. If you guys have any questions, just comment below and I'll answer that as fast as I can. But with that being said, I'm going to go right into the comp. So pretty much, like you know, this is called the K6 or K6. This comp is relying on one of these itemization for K6. If you want him as a hyper carry, you pretty much need at least minimum 2 of these items, or else he's not going to be doing good. And he needs to be level 3. So K6 can use 2 Zeeks rapid fire cannon, i.e. rapid fire cannon GA, or 2 Zeeks and a GA. GA is more important if you have no good Vel'Koz items. This comp requires 2 carries, which is Vel'Koz and K6. K6 carry you early to mid, and Vel'Koz helps you late to win. So if you don't have any good Vel'Koz items, like let's say you don't have 2 of the 3 items here, right? You want to get a GA just because you want your K6 to be able to sustain a bit longer to carry you, compared to if you have perfect Vel'Koz items, then you can go for double Zeeks and IE, or double Zeeks and a rapid fire cannon, because you have secondary carry ready to go. So this is your itemization. Pretty much this is it. You don't really need anything else. All the other characters you can just mix and match and put in any other items you deem fit for them. But pretty much this is the core items that you can choose from. One of these 3 for K6, and Vel'Koz same as usual. Other items that Vel'Koz can use would be Death Cap and other crit items like Jewel Gauntlet. Those are okay as well, but this is pretty much ideal. So with the early game, you're gonna look like something like this. You have one of the 2 variation. Because this is a hyperroll carry, right? There is not much flexibility as you want to play for this comp, just because you want to probably save as much gold as you can early game. So you're looking to either play brawlers with infiltrators, or you want to play brawlers and sorcerers. In both of these options, K6 and Twist of Fate are going to be really something that you can use at late game, and those are the units that you want to level 3. Also, as well as Malphite, you want him to get him level 3 as well. Zoe is the only one in this comp that you don't really need. Kai'Sa is one of those units that you can use as an item holder for Vel'Koz. If you do want to go this option, you can just slam the items onto Kai'Sa as fast as possible, and those are the items that you want to put for Vel'Koz later on. Zoe, same thing applies. You can always slam the items on Zoe, but then you can also have the option of slamming the items on Ahri. So this is your early game. One of these 2 options, really good, pretty much standard. Mid game is pretty much when you reach to stage 3.1. So 3.1 is going to be right after Krugs right here. So after you get Krugs, you get items. This is pretty much where you decide. So this comps require you to have K6 3 as a core. Like this is the most important factor. And the secondary units I can have as level 3 is Malphite and Twist of Fate. These 2 are not important at all. Blitz, you probably want him to level as 2, and then that's pretty much it. Same with Kai'Sa, just so you have that extra DPS and sustain. But Kai'Sa needs to be level 3. At stage 3.1, you have 2 options of either slow rolling it, as in you save above 50 gold and roll your excess, and then just slowly find your K6 3 and Malphite 3 and your Twist of 3 last, your Twist of Fate last unit, as all naturally hitting them as natural as possible. So I'm going to rephrase that. Just hitting them as natural as possible with that excess gold. Or if you're close to having K6 3 and you know what, you're like 50 gold and you're like just kind of away from K6, like you have 2 away, you have already 6 on your bench and you're just missing 2 more or 3 more, you can consider rolling down a bit of gold to hit that power spike and then push for levels. Either options do work for you. So it just depends on situational, but I think majority of people play it like 3.1, they roll down their gold until 10, and then just pray to hit the K6 3, Twist of Fate 3, and Malphite 3. Usually, if you're very far from K6 3, you don't even have to go this option. You can play this comp normally like some sort of Void Sork build normally. So you don't have to always hyper roll if you feel like, you're trying to force this comp, you only can hyper roll this comp. No, you can play this naturally and just play it as a usual comp without rerolling at all. And then you can just, push your levels, put in Valkals, do the same old usual. So with that being said, this is not the way that we're going to show it for today. Today is going to be where Kha'Zix is going to be carried and he needs to be level 3. So usually at 3.1, depending on situations, you would probably roll down all the way down to 10 gold and hit your Kha'Zix 3, Malphite 3, and Twist of Fate 3. If you're far, you can just slow roll and do it that way as well. And if you're getting contested by like 2 other people, then at that moment, you probably should not hyper roll at all. So that is your early game. Once you get your Kha'Zix 3, and let's say you're kind of far from Malphite 3 and you're kind of far from Twist of Fate 3. Twist of Fate 3 is not important at all. You can still switch him for Lux instead, as she is a better unit for CC. Malphite is not a requirement to be level 3 just because he is a tank. He isn't going to be some sort of hyper carry in your comp, but it is nice to have him level 3 just because if you're rolling down for Kha'Zix 3, you might as well get another unit as level 3 as a tanky, strong, sturdy unit frontline. But Kha'Zix 3, once you hit level 3, you can pretty much proceed to rush to level 7. So at level 5, I just want to note that you have 2 brawlers, 2 infiltrators, and 1 Chronos buff as going right now. At level 6, you can just pretty much push and put in a sorcerer, a secondary sorcerer. This is what happens when you actually hit Kha'Zix 3 and you start rushing to level 7. Level 7 is usually where you hit between stage 4.1 or 4.2, 4.3 around there, between when is how well you econ back after hitting Kha'Zix 3, and it's kind of depending on then. But pretty much once you're at 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, you pretty much should be at level 7, and that is when you actually replace the units. So as you noticed, we have some sort of sorcerers in the beginning. Like I said in the very beginning, it was a Zoe. You can replace it right now for the Valkals. You put in your Cho'Gath, you have your Void buff online. This is where you first spike a lot. After getting Kha'Zix 3, you do spike, but you don't have Void buff, and it's still not crazy OP. But once you have the Void buff on, Kha'Zix with the right items, it will be doing a lot right now. Kai'Sa will be also swapped out for Fizz, because Fizz provides CC for your Kha'Zix to kind of disrupt and isolate the units, just because Fizz summons a fish and pretty much separates the units, allowing Kha'Zix to have a better chance of isolating the unit. And this is pretty much your positioning, just because you usually would have some sort of Zeeks, and you can give the attack speed on your Fizz and your Vel'Koz. If you don't have Zeeks, you have IE, Rapid Fire Cannon, and whatnot, then you can always position this on the left and right. If you do not have Rapid Fire Cannon, right, you're going to be scouting a lot and pretty much positioning on the left or the right side, depending on your lobby of where majority of your opponents are. So without Rapid Fire Cannon, it is a bit more on the hassle of positioning left and right, or else your Kha'Zix won't get enough kills and you pretty much will lose a lot. So Rapid Fire Cannon does avoid that just because it allows him to poke from a very far range. And last but not least, your endgame build is going to look very similar to this. Right here, you're just going to have your 4th brawler, which is Vi. And if you're able to hit the units quite early, you can always put in a 9th unit, as in you can put in a Cho'Gath, a Vel'Koz, or a Chrono Thresh just to pull in more units. It's all very dependent on you. But at level 8 is pretty much where you spike your final huge spike and you're pretty much done. You have your 4 brawlers online, your 2 infiltrators, your 2 sorcerers, everything's good to go. And this is pretty much usually guaranteed you at least minimum top 4 if you have this comp online like this. Kha'Zix level 3, Malphite, it does not matter if he's level 3 or not. Twist of Fate does not matter as much. Vel'Koz needs to be level 2. Cho'Gath, really important to get level 2, but it's not a must. Pretty much these 2 needs to be level 2, 100%, in order for your comp to even have a chance of coming top 4. If you have this as level 1, level 3, level 1, level 1, level 1, you're gonna have a rough game, but it's still gonna be pretty good just because this comp overall in general is very strong right now at the moment. And that's the comp right now. If you guys have any questions, do let me know. I'll try my best to answer them ASAP. I will have another guide out very soon. We're going for another one that I've been using a lot in climbing recently. And if you guys like what you guys see, do consider subscribing, as I'll always keep you guys up to date with TFT comps. And if you guys have any suggestions on different types of videos that you'd like me to do, such as maybe current week snapshot of which comps are really good or which comps are considered right now A tier, S tier, B tier, all that good stuff, I can also do that as well. And yeah, if you guys have comp that you guys want me to teach you guys, or if you guys want me to make a guide on, let me know as well. And everything else, Thank you so much for watching and have a good day, guys. Peace.